they really want you to think about this planet as going to the playground. And our brains get so caught up and we get so attached to experiences and people and relationships and dynamics, as well as fears. But really, this is just a playground. It's a playground that we've come to have an experience. And it's beautiful, actually, because you get to shape the experience that you're having. What they're also saying is thinking about your mind as a playground. So it's a playground inside of the playground that is your existence. And when you allow yourself to recognize that whatever you feed into that playground that is your mind is going to shape your experiences. Why? Because your mind has been trained to determine everything on your physical realm. You've been trained to believe that it is more acceptable to participate in excuses and justifications of why you're not good enough. So your job today is to ask yourself, when did you give up on you? What part of you doesn't actually want to get to the finish line? And what they mean by finish line is to get to that place where fulfillment is the only experience in your existence. Welcome back to the Authentic Human Podcast. I'm Michelle Vickers. This episode is live and unscripted because I'm communicating directly with universal beings in real time. Right now, we are working with the Creator and a variety of universal beings to bring you the truth of who you are and why you exist through the story of creation. Today is part 28. So we've got Angelics today. And this is, again, we're going back to the first stream of Angelics. So first stream, this is the foundation of matter itself. And it's really interesting because we've been doing a lot of work with them in the last, in the past few episodes for sure. But also we're going to get more into the foundational aspects. So the first 20, 25 episodes have really been about creating an understanding and awareness of existence itself. And now we get to build on it. So, but, our brains often will think building, we go up. But what we're doing is now we're building by going down. We can go deeper because you have that base foundation. So now we get to go into more of the nitty-gritty stuff. So these, the first, this is the first being. So this is really important to understand. So the first stream of angelics, the highest angelic in that first stream, okay, he was the first being the Creator ever created. Just feel that for a minute, okay? He is extraordinary. And this is really important to understand. Why? Because the Creator didn't start with protection and beings to come in and hold space, and that's not necessary. None of those aspects of creation, they don't exist. They exist on the human levels of existence. And what we're talking about today is really understanding the power of your vibration, okay? So when humanity was first created, humans were the opportunity, it's like an extension of your soul and your soul experience, okay? And what that means is it's just an opportunity to go play. So they really want you to think about this planet as going to the playground. And our brains get so caught up and we get so attached to experiences and people and relationships and dynamics, as well as fears. But really, this is just a playground. It's a playground that we've come to have an experience. And, it's beautiful actually, because you get to shape the experience that you're having. And right now it's understanding that you already are creating your experience from the moment that you're consciously aware that you would like to come in and have a very particular human experience. Okay. You're already participating. It's tricky because again, I want to say, my mind wants to say it's years before you come into your conception, but it could be lifetimes, because a lot of the humans that are here currently have spent lifetimes in other lives preparing for this. What do I mean by that? What does that even mean? How is that possible? We are the way it's beautiful how they're showing me. So your capacity to hold awareness is infinite. Okay. And what that means is you have access to everything in existence. It's infinite. And so you don't need to carry anything with you. However, you do need to have experiences, because that is the only way that humans learn. Okay. So they're giving me an example of, if you're learning from a book and you're reading information, you're not really learning, you're just absorbing information. It doesn't become, the experience of wisdom until you have an experience of that situation. So ultimately, what learning really is an experience of putting a whole bunch of facts, maybe not facts, information, into your mental space. Okay. Now, what they're also saying is thinking about your mind as a playground. So it's a playground inside of the playground that is your existence. And when you allow yourself to recognize that whatever you feed into that playground that is your mind is going to shape your experiences. Why? Because your mind has been trained to determine everything on your physical realm. Because we've been lied to. We know that. It's not a big deal, because we can change it in seconds the moment you allow yourself to change your beliefs. Okay. So, but your beliefs are really what you take into the playground. So, what they're showing me is you've shaped your longevity, you've shaped your health, your well being, your mental, emotional, and physical state of being. Okay. You shape your relationships, you shape your experience, you shape your body shape, size, capacity to participate. All of those things are a direct reflection of how you participate in your own existence. And this is the part that we don't want to take accountability for. We want to have reasons and excuses. And here's the thing, it's not because you're lazy or you're weak, it's because you've been trained to believe that it is more acceptable to participate in excuses and justifications of why you're not good enough. Why? Because that's how humanity was strategically trained. Why would they do that? Specifically, because it goes directly against your natural state of being, which is to explore your potential. So, how do we, if someone wanted to attack that, right? Like a war, if someone wanted to attack your natural state of being, what are they going to do? They're going to make sure you cannot explore your natural state of being. So, how would we do that? We do that by creating doubt, by creating frustration with loss, frustration with when things don't work out. Why? Why would we create frustration? so that people don't get up and try again. And so today, they want to ask you how many times you fall and don't get up again. And what's your reasoning? And that justification right there is it's like you getting on the train, or you putting in your ticket that says, here's my ticket, I want to participate in manipulation. Every time you use that currency of justification, every time that you say, yeah, I'm good here, I can't do this because this hurt, I can't do this because this person hurt me, I can't do this because, and whatever the reasons are. But the truth is, we're beyond that now. We're in this place of the resurrection of humanity, which means you need to become accountable. Accountability is not about saying all the things you've done wrong. That's not what they're looking for. It's not at all what the intention of existence is. Accountability is recognizing what you want to achieve and experience in your life and then going for it. That's all accountability is. So, when did you forget how to be accountable? Because judgment is not a part of accountability, but we've been taught it is. So much so that we fear participation in our own lives. So, your job today is to ask yourself, when did you give up on you? What part of you doesn't actually want to get to the finish line? And what they mean by finish line is to get to that place where fulfillment is the only experience in your existence. What does that mean? That means that everything you're doing is a reflection of the greatest level of participation that you are capable of. How many times a day do you do that? How many times a week, in a month, in a year? And it doesn't mean work till you're burnt out. That's not what that means at all. It's about allowing yourself to dream, to create, and to feel the inspiration of the vibration that's inside of you, direct from your soul and from the universe, because you have those connections. It's about allowing them to lead you and guide you instead of your fears, instead of your judgments, your anger, your resentment on things that haven't happened and haven't gone well for you, because those are all just old traumas. Or they're other people's traumas that they've magically, it's not the right word, but they have given you, and you've decided to loyally pick them up, carry them up for yourself. Listen, humanity is suffering because humanity does not want to see the truth of who they're being. Okay? I know your brain wants to get angry even hearing that, because we genuinely want to be happy, but we also don't want to hope that happiness can come anymore. We're so over that. We're over hoping. Why? Because hope is one of the most poisonous energies in the universe. And yet we've been taught to use it for decades, for centuries, really. So why would they use hope? Right. Because hope means, I hope this is going to happen. It's passive aggressive. I don't have to participate. I just hope it's going to happen. Right? It's like, I want to be a millionaire, so I'm going to go buy a lottery ticket and hope it happens, but I don't actually want to do any work to become a millionaire. Right? That's hope. It's, I really want this in my relationship. I want my partner to see me, for all these amazing things. And I want them to start respecting me, and I want them to start, participating in different ways. But I don't want to change. I don't want to do anything different. That's hope. So the reality is, you can either continue to use these low vibration energies, right? Like hope, judgment, fear, resentment, to keep going through this existence, because you're going to get to the end of your life and you're going to look back and go, I could have done better. And you'll regret. Or you can become accountable. And again, accountability has nothing to do with judgment, because universally, there's no such thing as judgment. There is no judgment day. When you cross over at the end of your life, there is no one waiting there to say, you did a good job, or you sucked. What were you thinking? That is not how this works. Every single thing that you do is being fed into consciousness. What does that mean? That means that consciousness is the collection of every single aspect of existence itself, every experience, anything that's ever been created. Okay? That's what we're feeding. That is the oneness that everyone talks about. That's exactly what we're feeding. Why are we feeding it? Because that's where we get our inspiration. It's where we get the information that we need to continue growing and to continue participating in evolution. Why? Because that's the whole point of this entire universe's existence. So our job is to feed that. So no matter what you're choosing to feed, it's going in. So when you get to the end of your life, no one's going to sit there and go, you didn't do a very good job feeding that. It's you that's going to look back and go, okay, I fed the same thing that humanity's been feeding in for the last 50,000 years. Judgment, resentment, anger, fear, or I'm going to choose to participate in something that's never been done before. The resurrection of humanity. I'm going to feed in truth. How do you feed in truth? By becoming truth. By allowing truth to come in instead of protecting yourself from truth. By allowing purity to come in. Right? How many people don't want to participate in purity because they still want to do things that make them comfortable, or that you can check out and zone out for a while? So you got to be all in at this point. And this is the part where you can feel it. The anxiety comes up in a lot of people. The time for participating just little bits, it's done. 2025 is either you're all in or you're out. Right? Fulfillment comes from being all in. And this is the part where the division is growing. This is the part where we can see the difference between human existence of those who are participating and those who are not. And what they mean by participating is, right, our intention, the reason for our existence is participation in evolution. And so if you're participating in evolution, you're all in. And if you're not, then if you're not all in, if you're just dabbling, this is where you're going to feel uncomfortable. Okay? Again, integrity, accountability. There's no judgment. Go in and participate. See what you're capable of every single day. Allow yourself to participate in ways that you haven't before. Why? Because you were too scared to participate. Because what if you got to the end and someone judged you, or you didn't do it and you felt crappier than you do now? The reality is you're feeding consciousness. And what happens in consciousness? That's where we learn. That's exactly what consciousness was designed to do. It is literally like a well that is being filled all the time with every aspect of existence. Why? So you always have access to everything from any time, you know, 50 billion years ago to what's happening currently in this moment on the other side of the planet. You have access to all of it instantaneously. It's not telepathically, it's through the vibration of your soul. And it is a direct link. There is no interference. There's no misinformation or misinterpretation. Misinterpretation comes from your own fears, your own judgments, resentments, traumas. So the job right now that you have is to be accountable to yourself. Set goals every day that allow you to challenge how you be with you in the world, because that's the only person you need to be accountable to and for. Participate in your families, in your work, in your relationships in a way that allows you to feel fulfilled. That's your job. That's up to you. Fulfillment is a reflection of your participation. If your relationships are not fulfilling, you're not participating enough. And it's time. If you want to be loved deeply, you want a deep connection with other human beings, then you need to love deeply. You need to cultivate incredible connections with other human beings. If you want financial wealth beyond any measure, then you need to cultivate financial wealth. All of these things are available to you, but you have to choose to participate. And if you choose to participate by being angry and resentful for what you don't think you can have, then that's what you're going to experience. Stop being angry. Stop being resentful. It doesn't mean you have to spend a whole lot of time looking at your dark sides, all that stuff. This is not what this is about, because you're going to waste time. Okay? This is not about going deeply into your resentments and your angers and your traumas. This is understanding that universal energy works in one way. What you focus on is exactly what you're going to experience. So if you continue to focus on overcoming this and working through this, and I'm going to heal from this, you are going to be in healing, in your discomfort forever, until the exact moment that you decide to focus on what you actually want to experience. So today, your job is to get real. Get real with yourself. Sit down and have the conversation with yourself that you've always wanted to have, but you were too scared to have. Tell yourself what you really want out of your life and how you really want to feel at the end of the day. And then every single day, you're going to do at least one thing to bring you closer to your goal. And you're going to find that as you do those one things, you're going to start to feel fulfilled. And then that fulfillment is going to breed an inspiration to go deeper, go harder, go stronger, participate more in your fulfillment. That's what accountability is. It's allowing yourself to participate, because everything you're doing is feeding consciousness. And when you get to the end, right now, this whole dynamic, right? This resurrection of humanity has never been done. Up until now, when humanity has gone this far off of the original intention, the creator just wipes it out and starts again. No big deal. Why? Because this physical world isn't the be all and end all. It's just the playground. It's one experience. It's not that your life doesn't matter. It's that your life matters for the evolution of human existence. So use it in the best way possible. Stop sitting on the sidelines watching everybody else in the playground have fun while you wait for your chance to be called in by someone else, because it isn't going to happen. That's not what it's about. It's about you deciding exactly how you're going to participate in the playground. And if you can make the playground a better experience, then go do it. But don't need everybody else to see what you're doing. Go do it. And if they want to participate, they're going to come join and they're going to come build it. They're going to come participate. And some of them will go, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for you. I know we're meant to do this together. Thank you for taking the initiative. I was too nervous to. So be that person too, but do what you feel. Follow that energy. It's time. Let's go for it. Thank you. I will see you next time for part 29. Bye for now. I love when they use the playground analogy. It just keeps it so simple, right? It's like, oh, it takes the drama out of, oh yeah, it was pretty intense. It was a lot of fire and brimstone today. I love that. There, like I could feel it. It was like, come on, let's go. We gotta, no more whining from the sidelines. We can't play that game anymore because it's literally been a game of, just let's see how much we can get away with not actually being all in. I love the explanation that hope is passive aggressive. Oh, right? Love that. Hope is passive aggressive. I'm going to write that one down. See, this is what happens when it's so good. I love you guys for this. I'm loving the aggressive push. Yeah, that's what we need. We're ready. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this conversation and want to learn more, head on over to michellevickers.com. Join our mailing list to receive new episodes right to your inbox or apply to be a guest on the show. If this episode made you think of someone while you were listening, forward the link onto that person with a little note about why it made you think of them, because the greatest gift you can give another human is to see the beauty and purity of who they truly are. Until next time, stay curious.